One Punch Man chapter 121, one coming through with another lit chapter this week. So picking up where the previous chapter left off, we see the clown monster, which we now know is the Pesky Clown, attacking the people of the amusement park. And conveniently, Amai Mask was there because he was previously talking to Saitama on the Ferris wheel. So he's able to intervene in time and to, mitigate any more casualties that are going to happen. So then we get as much exposition as we basically need on this new monster, and it's pretty interesting actually. I really like this monster, and it certainly shows that one is evolving, not just with his story and certainly his art as we've seen since he came back from his hiatus, but just the variety and the dynamics of these monsters too, because this is, one of the most unique monsters we've seen so far in the series, and their abilities are definitely getting more nuanced, I'll say. So let's get into this guy. So apparently this is another case of a monsterization happening via the person merging or just fusing with their costume, as per what Amai Mask is saying. So I guess this guy was maybe like a professional clown or something beforehand, since people say that they thought that he worked at the amusement park. So maybe he did work there and that was like his job, and then I guess just he gradually monsterfied and then fused with his costume and then gained abilities accordingly. And one of those abilities is having the balloons that he carries act as damage substitutes. So I guess this also is a part of him monsterfying with his costume, because he was probably always holding the balloons, so they became supernaturally attached to his monsterization as well. So when he takes any kind of damage, or at least it seems the maximum allowance, as Amai Mask says, I guess when he receives a blow that is basically the equivalent to him dying, then these balloons will pop and then take the damage for him. Because at first we see Amai Mask just straight up pops his head with his own hammer, and then the balloon pop taking the damage instead, so he survived that. And at this point, he has up to 3 damage substitutes, as using 3 balloons. And this is very, very similar to Basil Hawking's Devil Fruit ability from One Piece. Those of you who are familiar with him, he has the Straw Fruit, and that allows him to do many things. It's one of the more nuanced fruits in that series, but one of his main abilities is that when he takes damage, specifically fatal damage, he has these straw men that can act as damage substitutes that will actually kill his underlings that he embedded them in, which is very similar to this whole balloon dynamic that the Pesky Clown has. So I really wouldn't be surprised if one was probably influenced by Oda here, because they are very similar abilities, and I'm not saying he's copying or anything. I just think it's really cool, and I like that he's going down this route, like what I was saying, more variety, more nuanced abilities. This is something different. And that brings us to this other guy's ability, which is definitely one of the more broken we've seen so far in the series, and that is the ability to become stronger by the more attention that he receives. And this goes into the inherent cause for his monsterization, because he desired attention. That's all he really wanted. And I guess his desire for such extreme attention caused his monsterization in the first place. That caused the explosion of negative emotions that caused the cellular reaction, and that fused him with his suit. But also it added in this internal growth mechanism as to where it just didn't make him a monster because he wanted the attention, but when he does receive attention, he gains a boost in power from it. And it just seems like a standard boost. He gets stronger, faster, more durable. It's nothing, outside of the ordinary that we see with monsters and stuff like this. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a very good ability, one of the better ones that we've seen so far, but I wouldn't say that it's completely broken, going into unfair territory, because in theory, if you were strong enough just right off the bat and you encountered this guy one-on-one, an S-class hero, maybe even a high A-class guy, could probably take care of him at his base level, even though he is pretty formidable even at Tiger level. He's probably around Combo Infinity level, going into that above Tiger territory. But given that they are in this amusement park, and given that Amai Mask is there, the most famous hero arguably, it's the perfect storm, which is just the best environment for the explosive growth that this clown is going under, because now he's just amplified entirely because there's so many people around him, so many people focusing on him that they're just buffing him to like demon level. And this goes into like the stressfulness and just the good writing of this chapter, because you really feel for Amai Mask in this moment, because he wants everybody to get out of there, but they're just not listening because they're just too infatuated with Amai Mask and just the attention that he causes, because like I said, he's probably the most popular hero in the world, and he's also like an idol and everything like that. So these people just don't care. They're just like, oh my god, Amai Mask. And he's like, look, there's like seriously a monster here. He's gonna like kill everyone. And even if he doesn't, like, I need to fight this dude, and don't need to worry about you guys. But they're just not even listening. They're just totally focused on him and trying to get attention from him, trying to get like social media clout from just recording this stuff. And it's also at the same time like fueling this guy's power, which we'll go into further now, because it looks like when his 3 balloons pop, his damage substitute balloons, when they're all gone, I guess he doesn't die. I suppose this is like removes the initial power cap on him, it appears. And then once they're all gone, then he's able to go to the next level, and he just transforms and becomes like a big hulking monster Broly-esque clown thing. And now he's just straight up dragon at this point. So that's like making him one of the more formidable monsters that we've seen so far in the series. And like I said, not completely broken, because if isolated, he can be taken care of. But like when he's in like a big crowd like this, then he's just really dangerous. Like he quickly went to dragon level. And this is definitely the worst that Amai Mask has ever been beaten in the series so far. Like not even Fear Ugly really did this much damage to him, and Awakened Garo only really caved in his face and then kind of let him be. But like not even Black S and Evil Natural Water had this much success against Amai Mask. And let me also, remind you guys that Atomic Samurai himself said that Amai Mask at that time, which wasn't even his full power, which I'll get into, was about even with Black S. So that's why we always assumed that maybe he was like mid-dragon in strength. Now I'm going to reserve my complete judgment on this clown monster's power until we see the conclusion of this fight, which will probably happen in the next chapter. But I mean, obviously Amai Mask himself says that he is dragon, so that for sure is confirmed. But then that brings us to the end of the chapter, where we see Amai Mask kind of having like this internal conflict with himself, where he's like, okay, do I use my full power and expose myself to the public, or do I let a couple people die so that people will run away, and then I can go into my true form, and then I won't be exposing myself, because then, everyone will be gone, but at the same time, I'll be sacrificing the lives of a couple people. And he's like, okay, what's for the greater good? Is it for my own personal image, or do I just man up and just expose myself for the greater good and save everyone? So we might be seeing like a serious character arc from Amai Mask here, because it seems like instead of going with his initial plan of having casualties, he's just like, screw it. Compared to that, like, how do you see yourself? Isn't how you view yourself more important? After all, we're human. And then he just, gives up on that, and he starts walking back to the monster while everyone is still there. They're all still looking at Amai Mask, just like, hey, look over there, it's Amai Mask. And then he reveals that he has a transformation, and then he releases it, and then we see what he truly looks like. I mean, we were always looking at Amai Mask's monster form, which was revealed in chapter 120 to be like his handsome form. That's like him as a monster, but just like the clown monster and other monsters that we've seen throughout the series, he has another transformation to where he can go into like his full power. And it's pretty much what we expected him to kind of look like the way that his neck gets super vascular, it kind of just travels up to his face. Now, all we see right here is like half of his face transformed, and he loses like the sclera in his eyes, and then his hair changes colors as well. So maybe, and his teeth get sharp. So maybe it'll transfer to his full face in the next chapter. Maybe this is just the beginning of his transformation, or that's kind of just what happens to him. It's kind of like Two-Face from Batman. But this is also a really interesting and surprising development, because this means that we've always seen Amai Mask kind of holding back throughout the series. Even when he was going against Awakened Garo, he was holding back and still refused to use his full form because he didn't want to expose himself in front of the heroes. So we're finally going to see Amai Mask at full power, and I'm just taking a guess right now. I'm assuming that he's probably going to be like a high dragon, because if he was already strong enough in just his base form, you know, holding back, just tapping into like, I don't know, some of his power, not all of it, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes into High Dragon territory and just totally tears up the Pesky Clown. Now, maybe it won't be a complete wash, maybe it'll be high diff, but regardless, if he can take down this Pesky Clown solely, which he says that he's never been able to take down a dragon before, this will be super impressive, and it might indicate that he's a lot stronger than we initially thought. But that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. So let me know what you think about this one. How strong do you think the Pesky Clown is? How strong do you think Amai Mask in his full power transformation is? But also, if you liked it, guys, please give it a like. I also have a Patreon. It gives you access to a weekly Q&A. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.